Hey, welcome back, my amazing students. Hopefully you are hitting those likes if you are watching this on YouTube or sharing it or subscribing to my channel, all right? You guys remember that you support me when you watch my videos. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, one of the things that I want to show you guys how to access is query parameters. Right now, we are accessing URL parameters here that can come from routes, right? But we have also query parameters, and those of you that are web developers know that query parameters, of course, follow the syntax. We have a question mark here, and then we have the parameter, right? Parameter, and then we have an equal symbol, and then we have the value, right? Following an ampersand, and then again with the parameter number 2, and the equal symbol and the value, right? So that is the syntax of a query string. So now, what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and create a component here to search something in the query string. Basically to search for something. So inside the pages folder, I'm going to create search.jssets, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to create a component function here. I'm going to call it search, of course. And let's bring this down here, just like that. Let me just take that out. Okay. Now, one thing that I need to also do is I need to come back into the app routes, and I need to make a route for it. Remember that, okay? So we need to do the same thing we did before with this guy here. We need to do for the other one. So let's go and pull this in here, import search, right? And let's go ahead and create that route. Search, just like that, okay? Nothing else in here. We're gonna take care of finding those query strings in the other side. So let's make sure that we have all this out of here. I have a lot of all these files here. So inside the search here, inside the search component, I want to first import a function that is going to help me out. So it's called use. Let me first extract it from use search params. There we go. We're extracting that from React Router DOM. And here, I'm going to pull, let me show you here. This is going to be an object. So I'm going to pull a couple of things from here, an object and a function. Now, I don't want you to confuse this with state. It's going to look very simple, very similar to state, but it's not. So I'm going to use this use search params like this, all right? This function, you can see, is actually a hook, all right? And from this hook, I'm going to pull this search params. All right, and this is going to be an object that is going to contain the query parameters in the URL. All right, and if I can put this where it needs to go, that would be nice. And I'm also going to pull a function that updates the query strings parameter dynamically. All right, so this function is called set search params. So that's why I told you not to confuse this with the state. All right. So this is a way to keep up, basically to keep the state of the parameters. It's just basically a way, it's very similar. All right. But it has nothing to do with the React state. All right. It's just very similar to what we do in state. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and return this. Watch what I'm going to do. So I'm going to return the JS sets here. Let's just create a div here. And I'm just going to put search here. Let's come back. Let's just make sure that this actually works. I don't remember if we did the route. I think we did. Search. All right. So that works. All right. So I'm going to call this search page here. And let's just do something a little bit more fun, right? So I'm going to create a button here. And when I click it, I want to put some things in there. So let's just do an on-click here. And let's put an arrow function. And let's use this function set search params. Okay. And remember that this function is going to update dynamically what we have in the query string. Okay. Now, first of all, let me show you. Right here, we can have the search query already displayed. All right. How do we have that? Well, remember that we have this other object that has the query strings in there. So we can just put that in here. All right. And then we just have this function. Remember, this is an object that has the query strings. So out of the object, we get this function called get. And let's say, for example, the query string has a Q in there, all right, for query, right? So now everything after the Q, I want you to get it and put it here. That's basically what I'm doing. So I'm just going to comment this out and show you. So right now, there's nothing there, right? But if I put a question mark and I put, let's say, ID and then 10, well, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. It's not ID, it's actually Q. Sorry. There we go. And we put 10, then we have the value 10. And by the way, guys, I lost, like my mouse something was happening to it and I had to pause the video, but hopefully you guys did not see any of those things that were happening to me. And I also had my door from my office opened by somebody. Anyway, so as you can see, anything typed in the URL after the Q, we can get the parameters from, right? To this area here, from here to this. Great. Now here, what I'm going to do, and I was getting ahead of myself, what we can do here, we can use this function to set those values dynamically. So I can grab the query string, so I can grab that object here, right there, and I say, you know what? You just put React in there. Simple as that. And in the button here, I'm just going to say search React, right? So watch this. So now, when I click here, you can see now that I'm able to change those values and look here. I'm also able to change it in the URL. Isn't that awesome? So I can put whatever I want in there, really, enter, and you can see that there. But when I click here, I change that back in there dynamically. Awesome stuff, right? Pretty cool, if you ask me. So that's one of the things I wanted to show you guys, because I think this is very useful when we are building applications. All right. So hopefully you got this, guys. Very simple. It works like the state. We pull the object that has the query strings, and we also pull the function that sets those parameter query strings dynamically, right? And we are using that there. Perfect. All right, that's it for this lecture. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.